This tree has witnessed the death of 1,200 men. It stands here quietly, unmoving, as if nothing ever happened. But in the winter of 1944, this ground was anything but silent. Now you see open fields, a narrow bridge cutting through the landscape, a farmer calmly seeding his crops, a small ferry moving back and forth across the river Maas. It feels ordinary, peaceful even. Only a small, strange sign, warning you not to use metal detectors, suggests that something is buried here, something violent. And then you find it. A monument, alone, in the middle of nowhere. Why here? To understand that, we have to go back to September 1944 to Operation Market Garden. The plan was bold. Airborne troops would capture key bridges across the Netherlands, while ground forces raced north to cross the Rhine and push into Germany. On the map, it almost worked. Bridges over the Maas, taken, Eindhoven, secured, Nijmegen, after brutal fighting, but then came Arnhem, the final bridge, a bridge too far. British paratroopers were cut off and overwhelmed, and the operation collapsed. The Allied advance stalled, and the front line froze along the great rivers. The south of the Netherlands was slowly liberated, except for one small exception, right here. At Kapelsche Veer, German forces held on to a tiny bridgehead, just a few square kilometers, wedged between rivers, insignificant on a map. But not for long, because in December 1944, Germany launched one last major offensive, the Battle of the Bulge. The goal was ambitious: break through Allied lines and capture the port of Antwerp. And from this very bridgehead at Kapelsche Veer, a supporting attack was planned. Reinforcements crossed the river. The position was strengthened. And suddenly, this quiet place mattered. The Allies knew it had to be eliminated. What followed were repeated assaults by Polish troops, British Royal Marines, even Norwegian commandos, night attacks, close combat, heavy losses. Again and again, they tried to destroy the bridgehead, and again, they failed. By now, the Ardennes offensive had already collapsed. The larger plan was falling apart. But here, the fighting didn't stop, because this battle had become something else, a standoff. Between two strong-headed commanders, German General Kurt Student, determined to hold the bridgehead at all costs, and British General John Crocker, equally determined to wipe it off the map, neither willing to give in, neither willing to step back. So for 5 weeks the battle continued, long after its original purpose had disappeared, until, suddenly, it ended. In late January 1945, as Canadian forces prepared yet another large-scale assault, the Germans were simply gone. They had withdrawn overnight. No final battle, no decisive victory. Just silence. Later, it became clear why. Kurt Student had been replaced. His successor saw what others would not. This fight was no longer worth it. So, was the battle pointless? At the start, no. This bridgehead would potentially support a major German offensive. It posed a real threat to the Allies. But after the Ardennes offensive failed, everything changed. For the Germans, holding this ground no longer mattered. For the Allies, it still mattered. By then, they had overwhelming numbers and resources. Every battle, even one like this, only weakened the German war machine further. And so 1,200 men became casualties. At this tree, still there after all these years. At this field, still hiding spent ammunition in the ground. At this quiet monument, in the middle of nowhere,